I'm Andrew Lauder.
Andrew, where are we today?
We're at the KezarPub.
KezarPub on Stanton Street?
Yeah, Stanton between like Frederick and Haight, I guess.
Haight and like Waller?
Sure.
It's right on the corner of Waller, I think.
Why not?
Right down the street from one of my favorite new places in the city, Free Gold Watch, where they have like 22 pinball games.
I thought you were going to say like Mario's, friend of the show. Was it?
Murio's.
Murio's, I'm sorry.
I do love Murio's as well.
Murio's.
I don't go to the Haight that much.
Yeah.
And this is officially the upper Haight.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
like about as upper as you can get.
This is like the tourist Haight.
It's like almost, some people would call it close to like Cole Valley and also close to UCSF, which is like the big medical school in SF.
There definitely is a dramatic uptick of like young people wandering around in this area. Like, you got colleges, you got stoned hippies, you got dumb tourists.
You're really close to Golden Gate Park, so you have people who are like basically dropped out of society and it's like, you know what I like? Smoking pot and sleeping under a tree. And then you have people up on the hill who are like going to one of the most prestigious medical schools in the country, and they see each other every day.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like sort of a good coexistence. Like the smart people can take care of the hippies when they get like a infected foot.
Yeah, these two lifestyles are inevitably going to intersect.
I remember you. You used to shit on my car. All right, here's your bill.
Oh, Andrew, are you going to go see the Jersey Boys movie?
Oh, am I? Well, yeah. So we're here for. I think this is the third game of the 2014 World Cup, which is the first sort of big marquee matchup between the Netherlands and Spain. Rematch of the 2010 South Africa final.
I think I officially do have World Cup fever.
It's
full-blown.
Full-blown fever?
Full-blown fever.
You don't just have HIV. You have full-blown World Cup fever.
Full-blown fever. There's no cure.
Yeah, I have to admit, I watched some of the opening ceremonies yesterday, and then the opening game, and I know that like in the last sort of 4 or 5 big events, like it's been like the London Olympics and the Beijing Olympics, and all these countries that don't really have like a soul, like they sort of dance around and they sort of like do their thing or like that, but like Brazilians know how to fucking like jump up and down and shake their ass for an opening ceremony.
If the Brazilians know one thing, if they know two things, it's soccer and throwing a party.
Right.
And I just can't imagine what it's like in Brazil right now.
Yeah, it's like
although,
like
I said before, that there's a bunch of people who are protesting the games, Brazilians, because they've been like the government's been spending so much money on the stadiums and on the Olympics and on the World Cup that they're cutting back on like government programs.
Like I get the feeling that the Brazilians know how to strike. It seems like every other day you read about like, oh yeah, the entire like Brazilian all the airports are on strike or all the buses are on strike. So they if they ever want a day off, they're just like, fuck it, we'll strike.
Yeah, by the way, I may not have World Cup fever because it's like the second day of the World Cup, but I'm just like, what are these austerity measures in Rio de Janeiro?
Exactly. It's like, if you can't guarantee fair wages for bus drivers, I have no interest in this World Cup.
Sure, that was a really good bicycle kick, but what about medical care for the citizens of Brazil? Like, it is sort of a valid, I mean, like, at one point, I guess you get to show off your country and and all that stuff. But like, it does cost a fucking fortune, and like, there's some parts of it where there's no investment. Like, the city like in like the Northwest called Manaus, like in the middle of like the river, like the Amazon River. Like it's out in the middle of nowhere, and they built this like 70,000 capacity stadium. Well, that's just going to wind up being a swap meet. No, well, that's what the critics say. Is that like after the games, they don't have these stadiums are just going to look like the Silver Dome,
right?
Or like the Reseda swap meet.
Ooh, like let's not say things we can't take back, like comparing Brazil to Detroit.
Right. So I am desperately trying to get into soccer. And I watched a little bit of it this morning.
Right.
And this morning it was Mexico and Cameroon.
Yeah.
And I believe the Mexicans won in a thrilling 1-0 game.
was almost a thrilling 0-0 tie, but it wound up being a 1-0 game.
And I'm going to sound like a dumb American here, but I kind of wish that they had scheduled the World Cup a little bit later, so we wouldn't have the NBA playoffs still going on.
True. Although, like, they don't really conflict time-wise, which makes for kind of a cool sports day because, like, you can essentially watch sports from 9 a.m. to like 10 p.m. every night.
Oh, Andrew, that's not the problem. It's not the conflict. It's that, like, if you watch a soccer game and it's like 1-0, and then you watch a basketball game where they're like dunking off their eyebrows,
right? It's
like my head's gonna explode.
Right. You're like, wait a minute. Like, I forgot what exciting sports looks like. Well.
Oh, so let's recap yesterday's game. Brazil, who's the host country, they had the opener against Croatia.
The Croats.
The Croats.
The most Croatian of all time.
Croatian of all time. And there was a controversy. Game 1, controversy.
Yeah.
On a flop.
It looked that way. And, I mean, I think that what made it a lot less controversial was that, like, Brazil scored, like, right after it. And, like, so they essentially would have won 2-1 even if that other goal was disallowed.
Well,
so,
that's what I have to say.
That's fine.
The final score was 3-1, and there was one contested goal, and the Croats were like losing their mind over the bad call.
Yeah.
But having looked at it and not being a real soccer analyst, the Croats can like put a sock in it or put whatever like they eat in their mouth because they can shut up because first off. The first goal, the only goal they had in the game was an own goal from Brazil. So, like, if you're going to, like, argue what could have been if they didn't make that call, well, you could also argue what could have been if that dude didn't kick the ball into his own net.
Right. Like, did you feel like so you saw the own goal happen? Like, did you feel like, oh, that guy's dead? Like,
no, because even like the look on his face was like, we're Brazil. Right. We're not going to lose 1-0.
There was a moment there where it looked like, and I almost got the feeling that the referee, I think the referee might have been Korean or something like that, but like, and I'm not saying that like, I don't want to talk shit about Koreans, but like,
you should have prefaced this by like, you know me, I'm not racist, but,
that's right.
And then go.
But like he seemed like in the second half of the game, totally aware of what a Brazil loss would do to that country. Like they just tear everything apart. like all of those stadiums that are held together with like chewing gum and banana leaves, like they would have just pushed them into the ocean.
Dude, one of my favorite parts of that whole drama was when that referee made that call, all the Croatian guys ran over to him arguing. This guy's like probably Korean. They're like speaking Croatian, and they're just like really getting in each other's faces. And I'm just like, all right, whatever.
It's like guy trying to tell me my car's going to be late from the shop. I don't know.
or maybe the entire world is not just like me and knows one language.
Or maybe they know that, like, they probably learn, enough English, like, to say, like, that was fucked or something like that. And, and the referee learns enough English to say, shut your mouth.
Put a crow out of it.
What do you think? So far, so good.
So far, so good. Like, okay, this is the other great thing about the World Cup. Right. I've spoken about this before. I personally like day drinking, but guess what? The World Cup starts at 9, so if you like day drinking, you're going to love morning drinking.
Exactly right, and especially like you say with the with the NBA and the hockey playoffs still going on at the same time, like there's a good chance that you'll still be slightly drunk from the evening before.
Right, just in time to wake up and drive that school bus.
That's right. Well, I noticed they have a pretty massive pitcher of Bloody Mary mix going here that they're coming back to quite frequently. So there's but I mean they got pitchers here. I mean like there's some like heroic day drinking going on here. On a
totally
Friday.
Is. And like this place is like packed. Like the hate gets a boatload of euros.
Yeah.
Like coming to their like Irish bars and like Kezar.
Right.
And today is no exception because
I would say that there's definitely at least from like. Garb and colored shirts. There's a lot more Dutch people here than Spanish people, but I guess that's to be expected.
Andrew,
Dutch people coming to the hate to try out new forms of marijuana.
Andrew, Do you know? Someone just started singing some fucking like soccer like fight
Chant
song.
or
Do
whatever.
you know any like soccer fight songs?
You know, I don't know any like by heart. I mean, I know that there's like Liverpool sings like "You'll Never Walk Alone," like which is some like old standard song. There's like, you know, there's teams that like adopt certain songs, and like a lot
I know, like
of,
Arsenal, they sing like "Careless Whisper."
Yeah, exactly. Which what's his name? Jed Lowry stole from them, I think.
From who?
Or like
Josh Reddick?
Or Reddick. That's
Yeah,
right.
Josh Reddick.
I thought it was that Hick Lowry.
So if people don't know Josh Reddick, who plays for the Oakland A's, his walk-up music is "Careless Whisper," and I really can't believe it's taken this long for somebody to subvert that fucking system. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like everybody, like
It's
like,
all like new metal and like country, right? Like or
yeah,
like
or calypso music.
yeah.
Like if you're like Yasiel Puig or
Yeah.
Yoenan Cespedes, like they have like this calypso
Like
music.
Buena Vista Social Club.
Exactly. Or like the other, like I was at the Giants game yesterday, and I forget who it was. And you know, like every white player in the major leagues is like a redneck.
Right.
And only like a couple of them, like Josh Reddick, have a good sense of humor. And like I forget who it was for the A's, but like his walk-up music was some like loud country song that how much he's singing about how much he loves his truck.
But,
like,
you know, totally related to baseball.
it's like, yes, we get it. I mean, like, hey, at least they're bridging the gap between these two cultures, you know?
Yeah, I'm always disappointed when I hear like Stained or like you know, like one of those like terrible Linkin Park type bands like
With
for
eyes wide
walk-up.
open.
That's a Creed. That'd be the worst.
So, hey, here's another thing I want to bring up about the bar. Well, I love this bar, okay?
Yeah.
The other thing about this bar is they have food here, and they have arguably the best chicken wings in the city.
That's been said. I'm not.
And it's arguable.
It is arguable.
I haven't made up my mind yet what the best chicken wings in the city are.
Yeah.
Like at the time, usually it's the chicken wing I'm putting in my mouth.
Like I would say that. Yeah, these ones are pretty good, and like they've been pretty consistent for a long time. The chicken wing / food revolution sort of like came to this place a little late, but they still got a decent wing going.
This place is really filling up right now.
Yeah, we're about 15-20 minutes away from kickoff. So
yeah, it's getting. I mean, like I'm really glad we got here early.
Yeah, I think like everybody.
People are coming in right now. It's like 15 minutes. Is it called kickoff?
It's like yeah, sure. Like why not?
I don't know, because I call it soccer, not football.
I
saw the opening ceremonies. I didn't know they had a first kick ceremony.
Like oh no, I didn't.
I didn't know. Yeah, and you see, like the first kick was like some guy.
Like for each game or like
no. There's like
for the opening ceremony.
There was like a paraplegic in like an exoskeleton. Who,
oh wow!
You didn't see this?
No, I think I missed that.
Yeah, it was. It's like this guy who
I was busy staring at Jennifer Lopez's ass or something like that. or what's his name? God damn it! Why can't I remember? Pitbull. Like Pitbull in his ridiculous like capri pants outfit.
Of course, Pitbull is at the ceremony.
Oh.
Of course, you know.
He's like, line up the Brazilian girls for me.
Because
I don't even know what nationality he is.
Let's not stop the party. Hey, Pitbull, who's trying to stop your fucking party? Okay, isn't he from like Spain?
Is he? I have no idea where he's from. I thought he was from like Jersey or something.
I think you said once he's the real life Bobby Bottle Service.
He totally is.
So they have a first kick.
Yeah.
And it was like a guy in an exoskeleton.
But the person was actually like a paraplegic or something?
Yeah,
it was
like a paraplegic.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was
no
basically
idea.
like an outtake from the Edge of Tomorrow.
Okay. Did they originally want to get that South African guy, the Blade Runner, to do it? Like,
that guy who's going to jail?
Yeah, exactly. They're like, look, we're going to give you this opportunity to kick this ball. You're not going to go kill your wife, are you? Like, we've had some issues with prosthetic limbs before.
I feel like we should have, not to like put a damper on like this wonderful World Cup like vibe, but we should have a new segment called This Week in Gun Shootings. I mean, because like that guy, that Blade Runner.
This show would be like 4 hours long every week.
Right, exactly. But like that dude in South Africa, he shot his girlfriend because he thought like he heard someone coming in. He shot like through the fucking door at his girlfriend. It's like, hey, great idea, dude. Like you have the, and like, you know, like from either he's trying to save his ass or he really loved this woman.
Right.
But like chances are he was like, I want to get out of this relationship, and I just don't want to have this conversation, so I think I'll just shoot her.
Right.
Which is absolutely terrible.
Yeah,
but it's even worse if, like, this guy, like, I just keep a gun by the bed, and anything I hear, I just start firing into the darkness. So,
look, I already lost my legs. Like, you think I got to protect what I got left.
what worse can you do to me? You going to throw me in fucking District 9?
It's like the guy's like he's like running on those huge blades. Like who's gonna like try to break into his house? Like he'll probably like slice your throat open with one of his like fucking knees.
Yeah. And it's like those idiots who now there's like this whole thing where gun nuts want to take their guns to like restaurants and shit.
Right.
And like not just
take
like,
him out on a date.
Not just like a what do you call it? Like a concealed weapon.
Yeah.
Like a fucking
like
assault
a big
rifle.
Right.
It's like, when is my order going to be up, bitch?
Well, that's the great thing is like, so you've got these open carry laws, then and you have them in Florida, I think, as well. And like, but then you also have the stand your ground law. So like, a guy walks in with a gun in a place, which he has a legal right to do, and then I have the right to kill him because he's scaring me.
Is there
it's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Is there a blow people away randomly law? Because I think that's the next step.
Yeah, that pretty much sums that up. I mean, like, wonderful. Yeah, I think that we somehow slipped into a time warp from like 10 years ago, because like Iraq is like a big clusterfuck again. People care about a Tom Cruise movie, and like everything else that's going on.
Oh, you know what? Like, so we're at Kezar right now, and they're adjusting the sets.
Yeah.
And right in front of us, we have the U.S. Open, and it's like
second round.
It's a press conference, right?
Yeah.
From some random press conference. If he turns it to the soccer game, I'm going to be like, "Hey, what are you doing?"
Like when the first game ended, like.
Do they have like behind here? Whoever this guy who's like running the TV sets here?
Yeah.
He's got to be like you know that scene in Slacker where the dude has like television sets and
right.
VCRs like duct taped to his back. Like, this guy must know this stuff because it looks like a pawn shop in here, but like all the different like
right.
What do you call it like
DVR receivers?
Tuners,
yeah. Like, well, which is kind of crazy because like you would think that like in this day and age, like you think you could sort of like make that compact, you. See, now they're gonna fight.
Yeah, let them fight.
We're gonna wind up being right in the middle of a fight.
All right, so we're getting ready. It's almost kickoff.
Yeah, it's almost so the coin flip or yeah.
I feel like we should watch a little bit of the game.
Yeah.
And then come back and maybe do like a halftime report and
see
how many times we had to watch like a European person puke on the floor.
Well, come up with all of our best Dutch insults.
Oh, I'll be writing them down. So okay, so we're at the KezarPub. You want to sign off and then just like come back?
Yeah, we'll come back definitely. Take a break.
SFBarkast, the world's greatest rehearsal.
If you're listening to this at home, you should time this so that another game starts as we go to break, and then like it'll be like you're sitting here with us. Won't that be exciting?
It's like you're hanging out with us with a bunch of like Spanish and Dutch like soccer fanatics.
What a fantasy!
What a fantasy!
Dream big.
It's like it's like the opposite of being in a strip club.
Exactly. It's like arms and elbows with
I know
the rest of the world.
It's getting really crowded in here.
Yeah, it's gonna.
Like so if if you're thinking about going to any of these World Cup games, especially in the hate, you
right.
really need to get to wherever you're going early. Also,
please, for the love of God.
Either that or go to Gestalt because they were making a really big push to try to do the World Cup, and they've got so much room, but nobody goes there.
Oh, well.
It's like me and my drunk friends.
All right.
Also, it's like saying like me and my friends. All right, so you ready to like put this on ice?
Sure. We'll watch some of the football and then report back later.
What's a Spanish like drink?
A Spanish drink? A sangria, I suppose.
Sangria, really? I thought that was Mexican.
No, that's Spanish. That's like
nice. Okay.
So you can have
maybe
one of those
we'll have one of
like
those. What's a Dutch drink?
Oh, geez, a Dutch drink? I don't know.
Free healthcare?
I don't know, hash oil and tonic.
Can you brew beer out of hemp?
You could have like you could have a Stella Artois or a Heineken.
Oh yeah, we can have a Heineken.
Yeah, there we go.
All right, so this is SFBarkast. We'll be back from the KezarPub, and we're gonna be totally infected with the World Cup fever.
Go Holland and or Spain.
Exactly. I don't have a horse in this race. Oh, you want to make a prediction before you go?
Oh, okay. Let's do that. Why not? I say Spain wins 2-1.
I really want to pull a Mr. T and be like, my prediction, pain. But I'll take the Netherlands. Whatever.
Why not?
I know Spain is the defending champion.
Yeah. Which
to me means nothing.
I think in our World Cup preview, weren't you saying that the Netherlands has just bit you on the ass too many times? Like you've chosen 3 World Cups in a row, and they always come up short.
No, that's Germany.
Oh, okay.
Germany is the Kansas Jayhawks.
Germany, Netherlands, same thing.
So I'm going to take the Netherlands. I'm going to take the Netherlands to win 0-0.
Perfect. Actually, that would be the ultimate sort of dick move in Vegas. Would be pick a 0-0 tie for every game, and then just sit there and be pissed off anytime anybody scores.
No, you can do that. You can in Vegas.
Right.
You can pick draws.
God, Jesus. What a terrible thing to do.
Can you imagine some gangster being like, "Hey, I got an inside tip. It's gonna be a draw."
It's I got a Christ. That guy must go straight to the roulette table and play 0 on every time.
I'm super neutral.
All right.
Swiss. All right, so this is SFBarkast. We'll be back for halftime of the Netherlands-Spain game.
You see sharks in the water. You don't see murder like this often. Provide a new coffin. You don't see murder like this often. God level.
All right, and we are back at the KezarPub.
Good God.
After one thrilling half of soccer.
1-1.
1-1. And
the most exciting score in sports. 1-1.
So what happened was Spain was up 1-0 on what people around here politely called a bullshit call.
I would say that's a nice way of saying it.
And towards the end of the half, the Dutch, they tied it up with a very good header, as they say.
Yes.
And before that header happened, I was like, man, if it's going to be 1-0 on some bullshit call, I can't wait until the next bullshit call.
Right. Well, that's the glorious game of soccer. It surprises you. It lulls you into thinking that it's boring as fuck, and then it's exciting as hell.
Exactly. I think, you're sitting here, you're checking your phone, you're looking at some dick pics, and then you're like, holy shit, somebody scored. And then you jump up and you start going crazy.
I can't believe I've reread my entire Twitter feed during this game, and then you're like, oh no, wait, something exciting happened.
I mean,
Robin Van Persie scored the header goal. But
although I will say, this is how I've always felt about World Cup soccer. Is I love the enthusiasm.
Yeah,
because I'm here oh, this is fun. This is kind of fun. But then when the Dutch scored, half of the bar just
went bananas. Yeah.
Crazy.
The entire back of this place is basically all in orange, and I thought they were going to tear down half of the TVs and throw them on the ground just during the celebration.
Seriously, I think that if Jesus Christ himself walked in the door, they'd be like, "Hey, sit down." But when the Dutch scored, it was just the most incredible thing in the world.
Yeah.
They made an announcement right after halftime that they're showing a slideshow from someone that they know who's at the game.
Well, he drove from here to there, which is kind of crazy.
Right.
I guess he got some hoopty truck or whatever, with Dutch shit all over it. and like that's got to be a pretty crazy drive because like once you get through Central America, like I think you have to have your car shipped at one point because like there isn't a road that goes from like Panama to Colombia. Like
There isn't?
Yeah, it's just like jungle or whatever. So like. So it's a pretty I would imagine parts of that it might be actually kind of frightening, but like if your like truck is like festooned in like Dutch stuff, people will probably like I don't know give you a pass and not not burn it down or whatever. But I think if I tried the same thing with like with like a USA truck or something like that, like it'd probably be a bad idea through certain parts of Colombia. Like
I met a guy once who like rode his motorcycle all around the world.
Oh wow!
And he told me all these stories about like having to like put it on like ferries and stuff and go to Africa and shit like that.
Right.
I was like, yeah, whatever.
So what?
It's like, yeah,
big deal.
What?
I slept in till 2 today. What did you do?
I just realized, like, this is a very international crowd, like, and
Yeah.
so, and there's a lot of like, people from different cultures, and there are a lot of very attractive women here. And I just realized that there's one very attractive woman here who's wearing like an international Wilbon. And for people who don't know, a Wilbon is when you have a jersey and you tuck it into your jeans. And it was started by Michael Wilbon because he's an idiot.
Well, speaking of the World Cup opening ceremonies, like we did, like what Pitbull was doing, like during the opening ceremonies, that was a classic Wilbon. But like he sort of gave it a Brazilian flair because he had like I think it was like a polo jersey or something like that. But he had it like totally tucked into like high waisted like capri pants.
I cannot believe, yeah.
It's like there's, I don't think Pitbull is like great looking or anything, but like. That uniform could make anybody unattractive. Like, just
dude, if anybody's out there who's like you and me and like sports and wears jerseys, do not tuck them into your jeans. Okay, you look like some like suburban like a housewife.
And also another, as long as we're giving out advice on jerseys, also I would say like to people that are somewhat heavier, like Kevin Smith, for example, a hockey jersey never helps.
Well, I feel like you reach a certain like size, like Kevin Smith, and you're like, you know what fits? Hockey jerseys.
Well, and it's almost like it might as well it might as well just like instead of a player's name, it might as well say like I give up on the back.
Yeah, it's like you either have to start wearing hockey jerseys or you have to start like dressing like the lead singer of Smash Mouth, where it's just like I'm gonna wear like oversized shorts and like bowling shirts all day long.
Yeah, sort of like Las Vegas national uniform or whatever of like. Cargo shorts and like and tiki shirts or whatever.
Dude, this place is doing very, very well for the World Cup. But I went to the men's room, and I cannot imagine. Like there's like one urinal and one like
oh my
toilet.
God.
This place is like packed to the gills with people.
I'm surprised like people aren't like just like offering you $5 to let you pee in their hands or something.
Right. I mean, if we were on Folsom Street, I could just piss on someone's face. But like,
I can make some money doing it. Yeah, it's crazy. Like it's a real crazy sort of bevy of smells too, because you've got like a lot of people are drinking tequila shots, so I get like strong tequila accents mixed with like Bloody Mary mix and hot wings.
Right.
And like sort of spilled beer, naturally.
And the gentleman next to me, like he got his hot wings, and one of the things that they have here for like, one of their specialties is they have wings with bullet bourbon sauce.
Yeah, I saw that. That looks like.
So like, if you're not like drinking enough alcohol, you can like you can also eat it.
Yeah, exactly. Why not? Like,
yeah.
Like they put that in everything. Like you can just dip a napkin in it and eat that.
And light it on fire.
Yeah, exactly. Good Lord. Now they've started playing La Bamba for some reason.
I have no idea. So, what do you think of this bar so far?
It's crazy. And, like, I want to say actually the last time I was here might have been the last World Cup. So, I'm talking about 4 years.
I think it's a logistical sort of nightmare.
Yeah.
But if you're like you and I, and you get here early, like it could be like it could be manageable.
They pull it off better than a lot of because somewhere like I guess they own the Mad Dog in the Fog too, but like that's another place
they do?
like that's another place that gets completely overrun, and you really have to like get your ducks in a row and like sort of like make sure you're staffed up and everything like that, because a lot of bars like wouldn't be prepared for this kind of crowd and couldn't handle it.
That's one of the things I will say about like World Cup and soccer fans. Like
Right.
you have to like have your dedication, because in America I feel like we have like so many sports where it's like, I'll just roll out of bed and go down to the bar and watch like a football game. But like
True.
There's not as many sports in other countries, but the ones that they're into, they're really into.
Yeah.
So like, if you're like a soccer fan, and you really want to watch a game, you gotta come here like and get a good spot and have a good and like really do it up.
I think like last World Cup, I made the mistake of trying to like go to like the Mad Dog right as the game was starting or something like that, and it was complete like clusterfuck out the door. Like it was like a good half block down the street of people like trying to like see inside the building. Like you couldn't even get in.
I made a mistake during I believe it was it Japan and Korea. They hosted the World Cup one time.
Yeah, 2002.
So, there was a at Mad Dog, like those games started in the middle of the night, right?
Yeah, that was crazy. Like,
so we would watch the games in the middle of the night, and then like at Mad Dog, they would replay the games.
Oh, okay.
So we went there, and
you just show up and tell everybody the final score and run out?
I almost did. I swear to God. I was with Nick, and we watched the England-Argentina game, which was 1-0.
Right.
And like Nick's like, hey, let's go celebrate. Let's go to Mad Dog. So we went down to Mad Dog in the morning, and everybody's watching the game again. And I was like, oh, what, are they watching it because it was such a good game that they want to watch it again?
Right.
No. None of those people had seen the game.
Wow.
So
like that would almost, I feel like,
what
because
if
that
I
was
had
2002.
What if I'd run in and started high-fiving people going, yeah, 1-0, England.
You just get the living shit kicked out of you instantly. But like, I almost feel like that, in the post-Twitter world, that like that wouldn't happen, or it can't happen anymore, because like there's no way you could avoid having a game like that spoiled. It seems like, unless you. Yeah, you'd have to go like Twitter dark like Patton Oswalt in order to like not hear like what's going on.
Also, like if that's you, if you are like one of those people who's like, hey, you know what? Don't tell me the score of the game, because I'm going to watch it later. Then it's up to you to avoid everybody.
Right.
It's not up to like you can't be like walking down Haight Street and then watch some like Brazilian guy beeping his horn and like waving and screaming about how they won and be like, oh, thanks for spoiling it, buddy.
Yeah, exactly. Like.
Are you going to go see the Transformer movie?
Oh, I think I'll probably treat it the same way I did every other Transformer movie and ignore the shit out of it.
How many Transformer movies have there been?
20 or 30, I think.
Yeah, I think so. It feels like a lot.
Yeah. So speaking of going Twitter dark, how are you handling Patton Oswalt? I think this is like week 3 of like Patton Oswalt not tweeting. Like,
I feel like I'm living in black and white.
Exactly.
I just don't know what's going on.
I don't know what to think about the new season of Orange is the New Black. I don't know what kind of great projects he's doing walk-ons on for Justified or something.
I got all my opinions from Patton Oswalt, so I don't know what to do now.
Exactly. Don't we all?
Holy shit. So now they're playing some, I think, soccer, like Chav, like anthem.
Some chant mixtape. Yeah, that's, for sure. If you come here during the World Cup, your throat will be sore afterwards.
That's
from
true.
Screaming.
Although, like people say, if you're a sports fan, one of the things you have to do is you have to go to like a Premier League game in England. I might pass on that.
I did go to a game in Munich once, and that was kind of cool.
Really?
But like the two big things that stood out to me was that like everybody smokes in the stadium, which is kind of crazy.
Wow.
And so you just had like all these people lighting up. But like people that are so into the game that you wouldn't even want to talk to them. You'd be afraid of saying the wrong thing and getting the shit kicked out of you. They just look like they desperately want to fight people.
Well, I remember like after the Malice in the Palace. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Like, I think it was some magazine that said if people don't know, the Malice in the Palace was when
Ron Artest and Steven Jackson went into the stands in Detroit, and you started like beating the shit out of people.
Right.
And they're basketball players, but like nobody died or anything. So somebody was telling me that like there was a article about said like here are 10 soccer riots that put all that shit to shame.
Right.
Because when there are soccer riots, people die.
Yeah, I mean, like.
And I love your reaction. It's like, yeah, sure, yeah, so what?
Well, it's like, they don't stop at like just punching people, like and getting in like a grappling match like that. They set shit on fire,
The soccer riots,
kill the referees, that kind of thing,
The European equivalent to like American school shootings, where people are like, yeah, whatever. That happens.
Another one? Oh, geez, when will they do something to snore? Like
exactly. It's like we really need to get some serious gun legislation. Oh, what? The television's on? All right, let's go. Go ahead. No, you're good.
No problem.
No problem. All right, so the game's back on.
Yeah, should we go radio dark for for the second half?
You want to go Patton Oswalt for the second half?
That's right. If you want to know what's happening in the game, just follow at Patton Oswalt.
All right, let's do that because I gotta go to the bathroom, and it's gonna take like I'll be lucky if I see the end of the game.
Just trying to pick somebody that's smaller than you and piss on their back.
So it's like grade school all over again.
It's like survival of the fittest. It's like Darwin. Come to life.
The Darwin Awards. All right, so this is SFBarkast. We'll be back from the KezarPub.
Give me a hoe if you got your funky bus fare. There's a double Dutch bus coming down the street, moving dirty fast, so kinda shuffle your feet. Get on the bus, pay your fare, then tell the driver that you're going to a double Dutch affair. Well, I'll be darned. Here it comes. The double Dutch bus is on the street. You better get off the curb. Move your bus fare, transpass. That's the way my money lasts. Ain't got no car to get around. When I go to work, I gotta go downtown. Now I miss my train. That's a darn shame. When I'm running late, no sleeps to blame. If you got a wife, you know I'm right. You got a special man.
All right, and we are back at Kezar Stadium, KezarPub.
This game turned into a goddamn blowout.
I know. Okay, so last time we checked in, it was halftime, and it was a 1-1 game.
It was a tight affair and a borderline boring affair, and now it's like a goddamn prison break free for all.
And also, I totally caught the World Cup soccer fever, and I'll tell you why. Because the team that I picked is like winning. If the team that I didn't pick wasn't winning, I'd be like, yeah, so whatever.
And it always helps when a guy that looks sort of like Captain Picard scores a bunch of goals.
I cannot believe the difference between the first half and the second half.
And here comes Picard again.
Good, do it, Picard.
Uh-oh. Again, much like our podcast at the NBA Finals last year, this will be great for people to listen to later, so they can imagine what we might be looking at when we stop talking and go, oh.
So we wanted to come back in a little early just because here's the thing. The difference between the first half and the second half are it's like night and day. The first half, in fact, at one point I said to you that, you know what, it doesn't look good for the Netherlands because it seems like all the shots on goal were fought by Spain. The second half, the Netherlands are just like stomping Spain. I don't know what they said or took.
Like halftime? The first half, they might as well have been playing croquet or something like that. They switched. They actually started playing soccer the second half, I think.
Right. So at the end of the first half, it was 1-1.
Yeah.
Now towards the end of the game, it is 5-1 in the favor of the Dutch.
Of course, it's early, and people will point out that Spain lost their first game last time and still won the whole thing. But this is a pretty. This is quite a beatdown, actually.
5-1. I don't know that much about soccer, but 5-1 is a dominating win.
Yeah, I think certainly on par with either of San Antonio's latest beatdowns of the Heat the last couple days.
Oh yeah, the last two. I mean, something about the sports world right now where it's like you're basically going to win by a fucking blowout.
Right, feast or famine.
But the star of the game for me is Robin
Yeah.
for the Netherlands.
Captain Picard.
Who looks like Captain Picard.
Right.
And for a guy who is like that, he looks like he's like very old, but he's probably not.
He's like 32 or something. Like.
Yeah. So a guy who's that old, and because he's Dutch, I'm assuming is that stone, to like play such a good game.
Right.
It's really got to be. It's got to be impressive.
Oh God!
It's right up there.
It looks like they might score again. Oh, he screwed up. He completely slipped in front of the ball.
You know what? I think that was like a mercy rule thing. I honestly don't think.
There's a guy in the crowd that has like this big what would you call it? An admiral hat or
there's a like
a hat that you only see like heads of state wearing.
I know on our World Cup preview I did like ask the question.
Right. Oh, they still stopped Spain from scoring.
By the way, Spain can do nothing right in this game. I don't know what the hell happened or where the real Spain team is, but they can do absolutely nothing right.
If we knew more about history, we could probably come up with a war that this is a lot like. We can be like, oh, this is just like when the Spain fought like the French in like blah, blah, blah.
Well, also, like, I want to point out that one of the people here that I've met, and maybe Nicole Kalisic can speak more to this, but this new friend of mine told me, he said, fuck Spain, they think they're better than every Latin American country.
But that was Nicole's critique of like Argentinians.
I was going to say like, so they're like Argentina,
right? But I bet Spain even thinks that Argentina sucks. So like, they're probably like, if you're from Bolivia, first you hate Argentina, then you hate Spain.
Yeah, and then you move on to like bigger and better countries.
Then it's the blacks and the Jews. Oh wait, no.
So this game is like basically winding down, and oh my God, what does this do? I mean, well, okay. So you said that Spain lost their first game in the last World Cup and they won it all.
Yeah, but it wasn't nearly this kind of beatdown. It was just like a 1-0 typical game.
I will preface like Spain is the defending world champions, right?
Right. Defending European champions twice and the defending World Cup champions once. So
I feel like all of that gets thrown out the window when you realize that when they won the World Cup, they had a parade and they dropped the trophy and then they ran it over with a truck. So if people don't know, it was the World Cup, wasn't it?
I don't think it was another cup because it was a bigger cup because the World Cup's a little tiny thing. But this was like a big Stanley Cup type of trophy, so I don't know which one it was. Might have been the European Cup.
It was some like national sort of like
it was a big deal,
like parade where they won this. They had this huge fucking like a victory.
Right, shut the whole country down for 3 days or whatever.
And then like somebody was like the team was carrying the truck on. They were carrying the cup on top of this truck during the parade.
It was like one of those open top buses, like a big bus tour thing.
And then whoever the jackass was who was holding it dropped it, and then the bus ran it over.
Dropped it directly in front of the bus. So the bus driver must have seen the trophy fall in front.
No, the bus driver just said, "What was that?" Oh, whatever. It's a fucking parade. It's people throwing shit everywhere. The bus driver's like, "I know what that wasn't. It wasn't the trophy that we're like parading around because nobody would be that stupid to drop it." And I swear to God, if you drop the first off, if you drop the trophy that you just won, okay, that's bad. But if you drop the trophy and the bus runs it over, fucking parade is over.
Yeah, exactly. Shut it down, everybody.
Everybody go home and think about all the bad shit you've done in your lives.
Everybody go home who doesn't know how to repair metal.
Exactly. And listen to the crowd.
I think the Dutch people like the result, but I can't be sure.
Well, I was saying that it's going to be a huge party in Brazil for this entire tournament.
Oh, yeah.
Can you imagine the fucking party that they're going to have in Amsterdam? It's going to be like a government-sponsored gravity bongs.
That's the thing though, is there's usually a limit. I figured that they're already
gravity bongs.
No. I figure that they're already high out of their goddamn heads, and now it's just they'll probably just start drinking now. I don't know what the hell they turned on, but
it's And now that the game's over, here's some sounds from an airport like takeoff ramp.
Yeah, exactly. This is going to be just like that one time where like the volume's going to cut out right when I'm like saying something horribly inappropriate.
You know what's weird is that like I keep seeing people who are wearing Dutch gear.
Yeah.
And like their colors are like blue and orange.
Yeah.
So every time I see someone with like some like Dutch hat walk by, I'm like, what is that? A fucking Mets fan? What the hell is that idiot doing?
Buccaneers fan or something?
I want to walk over and be like, yeah, Mookie Wilson was awesome.
All right, creamsicle orange.
All right, so you want to wrap this up?
Yeah, sure. Like what's your final analysis of both the World Cup and Kezar's?
All right, so my final analysis, Phil Joannou, is the first half, I swear to God, the first half of like the World Cup, I was like not into it. I was just like, whatever. And in fact, like the game this morning, and I'll tell you why. The reason why I always have a problem with World Cup or like soccer is if you watch a good like basketball game or a good football game, when they are talking about how great the game is, they'll talk about like lead ties and changes. I feel like in soccer you don't have as many like lead changes. Lead changes are better than lead ties. So they don't have that many like lead changes because there's not as much scoring.
Yeah, exactly.
But in this game, like it looked like the Dutch were not going to win.
Right.
And then they tied it, and then they took it over, and then they killed them. So it was super exciting. One of the things I hate, like, okay. One of the things I hate about some soccer games that I'll watch is if a team goes up by like 1 or 2 goals,
and then they just shut it down.
Well, they go into like basically the 4 corners of the old 4 corners of like the basketball.
Right, like,
and the 4 corners. If anybody doesn't know, like before they had the shot clock in college basketball. Sorry, where some guy just like took a fart.
I'm sorry. I thought I digitally added in that vuvuzela sound effect just to help,
so
drive home the point of where we are.
So basically, there's nothing worse than like a team that has like a commanding, not even a commanding lead, a lead, and then slowing the game down. But the Dutch did not do that. They attacked the net the entire game.
Yeah, like
they were not like sad. They weren't like, oh, we're gonna fucking play grab ass until like the fucking like the time runs out.
Right, which is amazing because you would think you're playing a team like as good as Spain. Like you got to know that they would totally be able to come back even from down 3-1. So like to continue to attack is pretty ballsy.
Well, I mean, like you know more about soccer than I do, and like if you say that they could have come back from 3-1, I'm gonna have to believe you. But they looked like a big pile of shit on the. Like someone like went out like
big pile of Spanish shit.
Right, exactly. It's like a bunch like if you ate like a lot of tapas and then you went on the field and you took a dump. That's what they looked like.
If you went to a bathroom in the middle of a sewer in Madrid, you wouldn't see as much shit. Christ. Well, yeah.
So what's the next game?
Well, the next game today is the thrilling competition between Chile and Australia. So we get
Chile
to see,
and Australia.
Yeah.
You know those teams are kind of linked, like the southern hemisphere.
Oh, I guess you're right.
The battle of the southern hemisphere that nobody cares about. It's like we beat out each other, and then the penguins of Antarctica.
I always liked somebody had like a country motto for Chile, and they were like preventing Argentina from enjoying the Pacific Ocean since like for like 2,000 years or whatever. Because it's like their entire country is basically just a fuck you to Argentina. Like, hey, you don't get to go to the ocean unless you come through our country.
Hey Argentina, fuck you, no Pacific.
Our whole country is just this one interstate that like borders the ocean.
All right. So what do you think about this bar? Let's finish up the bar.
Gotta love it. I mean, it's especially for an event like this. I mean, like it's certainly a better crowd than you get at like former location greens or the double not the double play, the final. That has a pretty bad crowd. But and I was really disappointed to read. There were a couple, like the Weekly and the Guardian, a couple has had like lists of places to watch the World Cup and stuff like that. And they were the same places that you always hear about. It's like
Yawn.
You either go to Mad Dog in the Fog or you go to Jillian's or like something.
Oh, that wasn't the Weekly or the Guardian. It was SF Gate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But and I was looking for something like maybe new or interesting or I mean, like they recommend High Tops, which is good, but that's like a new sports bar that's cool. But yeah, I mean, like you can't go wrong with a place like this. I mean, like there's so many fucking people going crazy for it that it's great. It's a fun experience.
I mean, like this is like, I mean, if you do not know like where you want to go,
right?
And like if you haven't done any research, you go to KezarPub to watch some soccer.
Yeah. Unless you have some place like it's like like there's this Argentinian restaurant in like South San Francisco that shows the games. Unless you know some bullshit secret like that. Like, come here because there will always be like
people
40 or 50
totally
people like really into it.
They're not only they're into soccer, but they're into like Gaelic games and like Australian
well, you don't have
football.
to insult them. Like, oh yeah, like I was looking on the website they have, and like they were listing events that they were going to be showing, and one of them was like last night at 2 a.m, some garbage game in like Australian rules football at like 2:30 in the morning, and I'm like. There can't be. I mean, I'd love to come here at some point and see if there are actually 2 or 3 diehards that show up. I don't know what it would look. Those people would be the craziest Aussie rules football fans I think I've ever seen.
I'm assuming they would also have like the rugby championships or the rugby World Cup,
right?
Or I like to call it like the grab ass games.
I actually like in a reverse situation. I seem to recall. When I was in Australia, many years ago, I went and saw the Sonics were playing the Minnesota Timberwolves in the playoffs that year.
Basketball.
This is '98. Stephon Marbury was leading the Timberwolves, and I went and saw that game. I think it was like 5 o'clock Monday morning to watch a basketball game that took place here on like Sunday afternoon, and so it's like everybody's like, "Hey, beautiful Sunday afternoon," and I'm like sitting in some shitty restaurant in Melbourne watching like the Sonics play.
Did you have to ask them? Can you please put on?
No, I think they had it on, but like it was like some sort of 24-hour place or restaurant or something like that. But like, yeah, I can't imagine like coming here and being like, well, I still want to watch my Australian rules football even though it's on at 2 a.m. Like that's diehard shit.
My hat goes off to this bar because, like, if you're going to show like an Australian rules football game at 2 a.m, you can't sell any beer.
I know, yeah.
You can't sell any alcohol.
Right, like what
so
do they do?
Basically, you're only making money
or?
off your kitchen,
No,
and good for them. Like that shows a level of dedication that has not been seen in, like, I don't know, in years as far as I'm concerned.
I actually thought that was from the TV, but I think that might actually be real people chanting.
No, I don't think so. No, somebody turned that on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Or either that or they're chanting for the U.S. Open.
Yeah,
Golf
either this
on.
is like either they're playing something that is a fight song,
right.
Or it's like that Chumbawamba outtake.
All right. Well, go ahead.
I love this bar. So here's my final analysis. I love this bar, although I did not have the
wings.
I did not have the wings.
I know, that's crazy. Why did you do that?
I do want to try it, but like you really should like come down here and check it out.
Yeah.
Maybe we should have our one like barcast totally dedicated to determining who has the best chicken wings in the city.
I will say, and we noticed this early on. I mean, they switched to like plastic cups like almost right away anyway because they ran out. But like the pints that we did have, slightly bullshit.
Yeah, I will say that they have like they're pints that look like 16 ounces, but I'm willing to bet they're either 12 or 14.
They didn't look like the full bullshit Yancey's pint, but like but it definitely had a.
Well, the Yancey's pint is like the gold standard for like bullshit pints. It's like
one you can spot from across the room where you're like, is that guy drinking out of a thimble
exactly.
or what?
Like you can dribble it like a basketball. The glass is not going to break. Okay, because it's so goddamn thick.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'm gonna say I love that game. I'm gonna Yancey's. I love Kezar, and it's a great like sports bar. And like if you come here to watch the World Cup, like all I would say is get here early.
Yeah, I quickly, it's funny, I quickly looked up a couple of Yelp reviews just in case we got to that. And one of the best bad ones that I read was somebody said there's too many TVs in here.
Okay, I was going to say,
and it's you're at a sports bar.
If I had to guess, I would say the best bad review of this place is like, there's too many people here.
Right.
It's like, well, stay home. Like,
Yeah,
what are you doing? Like, knock
Right.
it off. It's like, you can't come to like one of the best sports bars in the city and complain that A, it's too crowded, and B, there's too many TVs and too much sports on.
Right.
So
well, and it was one of those reviews where it even acknowledged that, where it's like, I mean, I guess maybe if you like sports, it would be good. But it's like, well, yeah, you mean a sports bar would be good if you like sports? Like, you dumbass.
Look at that, Will Bond. Fucking amazing. Anyway.
Fantastic.
So, all right, so I guess we should wrap it up.
Yeah.
All right, so maybe we'll do like a chicken wings episode, and Robert Zachary, we're definitely going to do our best sports movies episode.
Indeed.
So there's a little tease.
You've got some business to take care of in Vegas over the next week or two.
I'm heading off to Vegas.
So hopefully, but we'll try to keep you in new episodes. I don't know, we might have to break down and actually have Joe Gorman back on the show or something like that while you're gone. But who knows?
Yeah, things are gonna. All right, but we'll keep everybody up to date with that. Okay.
Exactly.
All right, so this is SFBarkast. I'm Jeff Cleary.
Ole, ole, ole. I'm Andrew Lauder.
And we both have World Cup fever, right?
I don't know what I'm singing.
All right. We'll see you next time on SFBarkast.